Hello, Slcc students. Welcome to our podcast. Today we will be talking about oral and nonverbal communication. Brenda?
What is oral and nonverbal communication?
Oral communication is the process of transmitting information and ideas verbally from one individual or group to another. There are two different types of oral communication. We have what is known as formal oral communication and informal oral communication.
What are some examples of that?
Some examples for informal oral communication are face-to-face conversations, telephone conversations, discussions that take place at business meetings.
And what are some examples of formal oral communication?
Some examples of formal oral communication include presentations at business meeting, classroom lectures, and commencement speech given at a graduation ceremony.
What is nonverbal communication?
Nonverbal communication is communicating without the use of words. In nonverbal communication, we use gestures, facial expressions, body posture, eye movement, and contact, tone of voice, and our appearance.
Give us some examples of nonverbal communication.
An example of nonverbal communication could be used in facial expressions. The human face is extremely expressive and is able to express countless emotions without saying a word. And unlike some forms of nonverbal communication, facial expressions are universal. The facial expressions for happiness, sadness, anger, surprise, fear, and disgust are the same across cultures.
Why is nonverbal communication important, Casey?
Nonverbal communication is important because studies have always shown that a message is received much better when it's communicated not only verbally but non-verbally as well. So using gestures and body language and eye contact puts the message ingrained essentially into your audience's mind. It just helps really drive home your message, whatever you're trying to get across to your audience. One of the most important things to know with nonverbal communication is your audience, obviously. So whether you're dealing with high up business executives or if it's just, say, a casual meeting with a friend, both are important, but your appearance for both of them both matters. So whether it be the business executives, you would want to look the part, so you'd want to look really nice, make sure that they know that you're interested in what you have to say, and then ultimately they would be interested in what you have to say. Another thing that I researched when looking up this stuff was that in the first 4 seconds of meeting somebody, they'll already have a first impression of you, which will just go the course to show what they really think of you, really. Another important part of nonverbal communication is gestures. It's important but often misused depending on the culture. Many cultures use different gestures for different meanings. Just for a couple of examples, in America, if you point with one finger to somebody and basically motion for them to come your way, that's not seen as anything bad in America. But if you were to use that in Asian country, it could be misused as being rude, so they will actually use their entire hand. One bad thing about nonverbal communication would be that it sometimes conflicts with what you're saying verbally. So if you were trying to tell the truth to somebody, trying to get this message across as it being truthful, your body language could sometimes show signs of lying, so you could be fidgeting, avoiding eye contact, any of that stuff.
Thanks, Casey.
Kapil, what are some positive and negative impacts of oral communication?
Oral communication involves positive, negative impact to the audience. First, let's talk about the positive. Absolutely, like time saving. When action is required to be taken immediately, it's better to provide message orally than just writing in the paper or anything like that. Another example of the positive communication gonna be more powerful. Speech is more powerful in persuading and to take control of the audience or in a group or in meetings, anywhere like that. And then next one gonna be motivation. It's easier for the person who is talking in front of the audience about like classroom or meetings or anything like that. And it also develop the relationship between the person who is speaking and to the person who are in the meetings or in the classroom like that. The next thing I just like to talk about the negative impact to the people or to the audience. So that's gonna be the first one, gonna be the no record in oral communication. Messages are difficult to record, so that's the one thing about the negative of oral communication to the people. And also, for example, I'd like to say here gonna be the inaccuracy when we're giving the information to the audience verbally or orally. That's gonna be like not accurate as it is when you just write in the paper when you write in any things that's applicable. So that's where I want to talk about the positive and the negative of oral communication. Thank you.
Thank you, Kapil. This concludes our sessions. Thank you for listening.